everyone, and welcome to Conexión. I am the host, Rafael Fernandez. Today, we have a very special guest. She was the editor for Black Panther, Creed, Fruitvale, and is now working on the project Prey, Predator 5, for those of you guys who are living under a rock. Welcome to the show, Claudia Costello.
Hi, Rafael. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here talking to you. How are you today?
This is going to be fun because I'm good. This is going to be fun because we normally talk with the actors and the directors and all of the people in the front of the scene, but we never get to talk to the people behind the scene who are the people who literally make the film happen. So
That's
I'm
right.
really excited to be able to talk to you.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to talk to you too. Let's get started.
All right, so you're from Brazil, such a beautiful country. I'm dying to go. Can you tell us what it was like growing up there?
It was amazing. Brazil is such a beautiful country. I grew up in Rio de Janeiro, which is right on the beach. So I pretty much was all the time outdoors, and the sights are so beautiful. The people are warm, so it's a wonderful place to be brought up at.
So when people think of Rio de Janeiro and Brazil, they always think parties. I mean, there's so much more to Brazil than just partying, right? Like there's a huge rich culture that comes with it.
Right, right. It's art. It's music. It is. There's so much that comes to it because we're influenced by so many countries. So every part of Brazil,
Yeah.
it has a different flavor, different colors. It's a huge country, so we get a lot from many different places. So it's a melting pot of culture and people, which is really cool.
Oh, I'm dying to go. I'm dying to go. I'm trying to food. We post up food all the time from Brazil, and I'm just dying to go and eat it all and just spend some time there. Um, I know that you got into the film and like you got into the film industry, but when growing up, did you start having an interesting to go into the filmmaking industry?
My path to the film industry is an unusual one because I didn't start watching movies until I was late in life. After I went through communication school, I was graduating in journalism, and then I started watching documentaries, and then that led me to watch more movies. It was a different path. Like here in America, everybody watches movies all the time. They know all the names of the actors, directors, and the references are really really strong for most of the people because it's ingrained in the culture. But for me, since my
Yeah.
mom worked all day out, and we had to take care of ourselves, like me and my brother and my sister. So a healthy way of being brought up in Rio at that time was that we spent a lot of time at the beach practicing sports. So in the beginning, I was really into sports, and then late in life, I started watching movies, and because of sports, I started traveling the whole country, and then later the world competing. I was a bodyboarding competitor, and then that life experience is what I think is my specialty. I would say like that. The difference that I think I bring to the table when I'm editing movies and approaching characters and nuances that I think I brought from my daily life, as opposed as having
Yeah.
so much like I used to say, um, I'm not much by the book. I'm more like life experience. That's what I bring to the table, I think.
Yeah, and I noticed you got surfboards behind you. So I
Right.
mean, do you surf on like is that
Yes.
is that something that you do like on a regular basis? Do you like surfing on a
Absolutely.
regular basis?
Yes, yes, yes. That's what keeps me
Okay.
sane. That's
Are
why I can edit 12-hour days and still be calm and
uh,
happy.
okay,
Yes.
are you located currently in Los Angeles? Is that are you currently in Los Angeles?
Okay, I'm based in LA, but I spend most of my time in El Salvador. That's where I'm talking with you from, Central
Oh,
America.
very cool.
Yes. I found life and career balance when I'm here the most. So, and now I'm being able to work projects where I do most of my work online. Right now, I'm doing a TV show. So
Yeah.
everything's so fast and the directors are always busy. And I'm being able to do my work online. And that's been very, very, very healthy for me to have that life balance,
To be able to
work.
balance, yeah, to be able to
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's very cool.
yeah.
That's it's actually something that a lot of people are really grateful for. One of the best things that came out of, if there's a way to say that, from the pandemic, is that a lot of people, their work has switched to where they now have kind of like a remote
Uh-huh.
slash personal life, as opposed to a driving in with the frustrations and being in an office in a cubicle, and
Right,
and for some people that's murder. Some people can't stand being at home,
right.
but I think for people in the entertainment industry, at least from an editor or production standpoint, that's kind of been really cool to be able to work from home
It's been
and
amazing.
to be
Yeah.
able to kind of work different hours depending on. So you're in El Salvador, pupusas.
Yes.
You good?
Would you
You're a
like?
fan?
Yes. Frijol, revueltas, queso con moroco.
Oh my goodness. It's so
Sí,
good. It's so
sí.
good. We just spoke to an attorney who was from El Salvador. We were talking about pupusas. I'm just like every single time somebody mentions the country, I mention the food because it's so good.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's delicious. I love the food here, and the pupusas are amazing. Everybody should try.
I have a question. When you switched from you were sitting there doing sports and so forth, when you switched from that to, the film industry, was your family like supportive of that decision? Because I know here in the United States, it's looked like frowned upon. Latinos who start going into, acting or anything like that, the parents are like, "Oh, why don't you get, a job in, something that you can make money in." Now, video editing is obviously different than acting, but is it a decision that, at least from your family, they were supportive of?
Yes, yes. My mom especially, yeah, my family, my whole family always supported me on everything I've done. The sports were a little trickier because it was hard to make money out of it. So
Yeah,
so yeah, and then the
yeah.
movie
You kind of
industry.
went from one. You went from one type of risky business to another type of risky business. So that's kind of funny.
That's right. That's right. I think I like risks, even though yeah, it doesn't seem like when you say you're editing all day and it's so tricky,
Yeah.
so detailed, but it is risky in the fact that it's so competitive, and to break in, um, it requires time and the right time and the right people, I guess. But my family was always supportive of this decision because they knew I was in LA and the industry was here. And because
Yeah.
I didn't start as a director or as an actor. So I think there's way more opportunity if you want to do any of the other creative positions or technical
Hmm.
positions. It's there's so much opportunity out there if you do a good job, if you have talent. That's a great thing about LA is that um, you're valued for what you really worth. Um, it's
Yeah, and talking about your career, because so if you came from Brazil, you came and you studied at USC, you got your
Mhm,
master's.
mhm,
Um, I believe it's in film production.
mhm.
What was and you actually met director Ryan Coogler there.
Yes, yes,
Like, how did
yes.
that come about?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes, USC was so important for me because it gave me the belief, like I had to be validated since I didn't grow up on this environment. So USC was very important, and they brought me in. All the teachers, the students, they were so welcoming, and it was a variety of different backgrounds there. So it was amazing. And then I met Ryan. I was already, I think it was in the second year I was there, and Ryan was a semester ahead of me, or a couple semesters ahead of me. And the way I met him, I was interviewing for a class that you have to be chosen. They make three documentaries in one class and three fiction films in another
Hmm.
class. They're kind of twin classes, and they run at the same time. But one does documentaries, the other one does feature. Fiction. And then the showcase for these
Yeah.
two classes were together, and I was already sure I wanted to do documentaries. But then when I saw the showcase and I saw Ryan's work, I changed my mind on the spot. I was like, wow, that I want to work with that guy. I think that guy
Yeah.
has so much talent. It speaks to me. And then I applied for a few documentaries, for two of the documentaries, and for Ryan's project. And then the two documentaries wanted to work with me, and Ryan wanted to work with me, but Ryan went ahead of the guys and he said, I know those people want you, but I cut the line and I want you. So we started working together. We
Oh,
did,
that's awesome.
yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing because when I started my master's degree there, I already had some editing experience. So I already had a reel.
Yeah.
And then that's why I kind of went ahead on the competition to be chosen as an editor, because I already had two previous work before I started my master. I just wanted to get better at USC. So that day, Ryan chose to work with me, and then we chose another one other editor that worked together with me for years. Like this trio, we did Fig, which was this first short that we did that did so many festivals. It was so well accepted. And then Ryan went to the Sundance Lab to write his first feature, which was Fruitvale Station. And then with Fruitvale
Oh, wow.
Station, we were so welcomed. Like we won the two main Sundance prizes. We went to Cannes, and we did many festivals. And that movie was what really opened the doors for Ryan, and we worked with him along the way through Creed and through Black Panther. And Ryan was the best thing that happened in my career, because we did so much together, and he's such an amazing guy, talented and a big heart. So I only have great things that I learned, and that I collaborated with him. I think we all grew together, and just took off. And then I
That is so cool.
yeah, it was so I really admire his work and have a lot of so only good things to say about this relationship.
So when you guys turned around, because we're fast forwarding a little bit because you had mentioned the Black Panther,
Hmm.
that was like your third film.
Hmm.
You guys got through Sundance. How did Black Panther come about? Did he ask you to
Yes,
come and be a part of the editing team for that as
yes,
well? The
yes,
same. I know with Creed, you were the editor.
yes.
Um, so how did that come about? It was just him saying, "Hey, I want you, I just landed." Like, was there like a big celebration on the phone call? He's like, "I just landed Black Panther. You're coming
Yes,
with me. Let's go."
yes. I give it to you right now. Yeah, it was like that. We were very cohesive, and we had a very good team. We worked in a very intense way. It was hard work, many hours. There were days that
Oh, I
Ryan
can
was,
imagine. I mean,
yeah, yeah. And Ryan was obsessive, like very obsessive, and he didn't sleep much. He was so young. He was 27. I think he was 30 by the time he did Black Panther. So young. So he had tons of energy,
yeah.
right? And then he worked really hard, and that part was tough to keep up with his energy. But I think we all gave 100% of what we had, and I think that showed in the end all the passion that we put in. And and his talent, his vision, his subtleties on directing the actors, um, and it all came together like we
So I
said.
want to talk about editing because
Hmm.
I mean that's the main purpose of it. Like
Hmm.
one of the things that really trips me out about just even here in the United States.
Hmm.
So I'm a big huge statistic guy, so I'm going to spill out a statistic here. And as a general statistic, we're not going to go into the deep natural. That's what Hispanic Heritage Month. If forever who's going to be a part of that, make sure that you tune in because we're going to be going into statistics then. So the number of representation in video editors in the United States is 15% Latino.
Wow.
61 to 64% are Caucasian. That's Latinos. That's not even we're talking about when they talk about Latino Hispanic, they're talking about the entire community. It's not separated by women statistic or any that the number for women is even lower, obviously.
Mhm.
So what made you decide I want to go into video editing, like specifically the editing aspect of it?
Um, I kind of fell on it. It found me. I think editing found me. I was working in a production company and for commercials. I was the assistant for the executive producer, and I was
Yeah.
just putting reels together. Director reel. I would put many commercials and use Final Cut and do all this, gluing commercials together. It was
Yeah.
something very simple that I used to do, but that kind of caught my attention. It's like, oh, I think I can edit. And then a friend of mine, I think yeah, I'm editing. And then a friend of mine was a producer and the founder of the Hollywood Brazilian Film Festival, Thalise Sayeg. She was producing her first short film, and she asked me, Claudia, do you know an editor that can do this film? It's shot in Brazil. It's Portuguese. Do you know anybody because you're starting to work in the industry? And I'm like, me, I can do it. I'm an editor.
she's like she's like I'm gonna shoot my shot. We're gonna go with me
Yeah,
on this one.
yeah. And I had no idea of how to, put a movie together. And then I was so lucky that I met the director, Alan Fitterman. He's now in a soap opera and series in Brazil at TV Global.
Yeah.
Alan
Hmm.
was so patient, and he pretty much taught me how to edit. And a movie that would take me 3 days, or no, not 3 days, but let's say 2 weeks to edit right now. It took me 3 months with Alan, and he was very patient. And then from there, I realized that I like editing, that I could bring to the table
Okay.
something artistic, something meaningful. Um, and I told him, Alan, this is what I want to do. I just found out that I really like this. And then he got me a scholarship at New York Film Academy because he was a teacher there at the time. So I took
That is so cool.
that was really amazing. That was really amazing. So I took a 3 months course at New York Film Academy, and that gave me, the bug. Like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is it. I really want to do this. And then, but I knew I need to learn so much more about the whole process because I was really raw about movies anyway. And then I decided to apply for USC, and I got in, and that was how everything started. And at USC, I remember
That's
everybody. At USC, I remember in the first classes, the first days, everybody introducing themselves, and 98% of the class wanted to be a director because it was a production course. So you could be a writer, a producer, an editor, sound, or I'm forgetting one, a writer. No, I already said writer.
you got writer, yeah.
Writing,
No,
yeah,
it's writer,
director, direct
writer, directing, producing,
direct photography.
audio. You got
Yeah,
audio,
yes,
sound.
in direct photography, I think,
Yeah.
cinematography. So
Yeah, cinematographer. That's the actual term for it. Yeah, the film.
yeah, and there was only me and another person who was like, who wants to be an editor? And then like two hands up
Two people
in the
raise their
whole
hands up.
class. And I'm like, okay, okay, I'm not. Yeah, and then and then I realized, how am I going to compete with these all these kids that grew up, you know, in this environment? They have so much information already, and they know what they want. And I was like, just kind of feeling the grounds, and it's like maybe I will start from behind, and later on, I can I can try to edit. But then it was so, I found myself so much in editing that I just stayed as an editor. And it's been great.
Very cool. And look, we're happy for it because I mean, look at the amazing
Hmm.
work that you're doing coming out of
Hmm.
USC,
Hmm.
working on some of the projects that you've been
Hmm.
working on. As far as like projects, are you one of the? Because I know actors are picky, directors are picky, writers sometimes are picky. As an editor, are you like picky or very selective as the as far as the type of project that you're wanting to work on?
I do choose my projects. I do have this privilege of being able to choose what I want to work at, and what I work when I'm sorry, what I want to work on. And I really usually choose projects that have to do with something that I believe. Um, a lot of things are something
Yeah,
social, something political, that is not upfront a political movie or a social movie, but it does
yeah.
touch the subject and does make us think about issues in our daily lives in a different way. There is not through journalism, that because I believe that journalism doesn't change opinions, doesn't create conversation, but I think movies can do that through a different
I
path.
agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. So I
Because
try
you're
to.
right, like the media has its narrative, so the media will sit there and say this is what we feel it is, and then they won't really open it
Hmm.
up for both sides of the conversation. At least in this day, when I was growing up, the media was completely different. They would just
Hmm.
give the news, and then you were open to interpretation depending on what you thought. Now
Hmm.
you have different channels and different points of media that are just feeding you one side and not the other, and don't open up any type of dialogue.
Exactly. And that's what I want to always be away from. Like, I want people to be able to feel, to think, to change their minds, to be in other people's shoes. And I think that's one of the reasons I make movies, to tell you the truth. Yeah.
I say that because you were talking about how some of these issues are the way Prey
Mm-hmm.
um has that connotation to it. So when you
Mm-hmm.
even look at the summary of it, it's talking about how indigenous people are dealing with the fact that they have an alien that's coming after them. They have people trying to colonize their land. I mean, it's one of those movies that I know is coming from a socio-political aspect of it just by the essence
Mm-hmm.
of what the movie is
Mm-hmm.
about. So is that what was that one of the biggest reasons why you were like, yes, I will definitely take this project?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The fact that the main character that was going to fight the predator is an indigenous woman, it spoke deeply to all
Yeah.
these things I'm talking about. The lack of the representation that is changing right now. Like, things are changing in Hollywood. Everybody is having more
Yes,
space.
very much so.
Yeah, so I think we have to ride this wave as much as we can, and definitely that was one of the biggest reasons that I chose to do this project, and I'm happy I did.
It's going to be interesting because I mean, I've seen all of the previous Predator movies,
Hmm.
and I like this because this is actually going back in time. So this goes back into the 1700s.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
not a futuristic version of the film, so it's really kind of an interesting take on the Predator franchise. So
Hmm.
I'm really
Yeah.
excited about it. I mean, I can't wait to see what you do to make it look the way it does.
Okay, okay. It's
So,
fun. It's fun.
and for people who don't know,
Hmm.
She's like, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it away.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what are some of the topics that you would like to work on in the future? Like if somebody had an idea and so forth, what would be a topic that you would definitely like to be involved in?
So many. um,
Yeah, but you gotta pick one. I mean, just pick
okay.
one.
Okay. Okay.
It's tough.
Okay. Maybe women in rising and being respected as professionals, without having to be a everyday battle just to be heard. Something on that um, line.
Oh, very cool. So
Yeah.
like a woman empower. I mean, the thing about these movies is sometimes they make them too cliche. Like a woman has to go above and beyond to try to, which I think is what
Right.
you're talking about. They have to do these extra to ordinary things in order
Uh huh.
to make it to the top where it would be good if they rose up the way everybody else is
Yeah.
getting
Just
to that. But they were talking about there's not enough women CEOs in the
yet,
United States.
yet that yeah. It's it's an everyday effort. I'm very happy that our generation, my generation, already saw so much transformation. But I feel like there's so much more to go still, and I think we all carry so much weight on this subject. All the women there that have careers and somehow they're satisfied about what they have accomplished. I'm sure we all went through the same difficulties throughout. I'm sure, you know. And I wish we didn't have to
I look,
fight so much.
I have two daughters, so I know the deal. I mean, some of the things that they've had to do compared to their counterparts to get to where they need to get to. It's been you can see it, and as a dad, you can kind of look at that and sit there, and go, okay, I now get the conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're on the outside looking in, you're not really paying attention to what's taking place, and you'll just take it for granted.
Right, right. I think people don't realize until, unless they put themselves on the other people's um, shoes in a way. Yeah, but um, I am proud of where we are right now, and all the doors opening for other stories to be told. I'm gonna do a TV show now that is directed by women. It's the showrunner is a woman, and it's about women, and it's a beautiful story. It's gonna be shot in 4 different countries, and I'm very excited about this one. It's called
Oh, very cool.
yeah, it's called Black Cake. It's gonna be on Hulu. So
Oh, okay. So there we go. We got an exclusive for those people who don't know. It's coming out Hulu.
yes, yes, I'm sure if I should. Oh my god, I should. Yeah. No, it's already on IMDb, so I'm not giving any spoilers.
she's like, I'm not gonna get in trouble. I'm
Oh my
not gonna be
gosh.
canceled for this one afterwards.
Let me double check on that. Yeah.
She's like, what she doesn't know is that immediately after this, she's gonna be the one that edits this interview. So it's not gonna be a big deal. Anything that's not.
Right.
This
Right.
is gonna be one of our best interviews ever.
I'll
So
be like beep
I give you much props. Yeah, right. It's like one giant black screen takes place on that
beep.
one spot. It's gonna be hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I give you all the respect in the world because like I edit all of the content that we have video wise here at the show and at the media company and all of the interviews. And I can only imagine if it takes this long for me to do 30-minute interviews, I can only imagine what it takes for someone of your professionalism to be able to edit a film that was filmed for months but has to be cut into like a 2-hour time frame, and all of the best angles and
Mhm.
all of the best shots have to be compiled and put into like the perfect simile so that it all looks with what we see on the screen that we're paying what's not enough for what you guys do. So that's amazing,
Yeah.
and I truly thank you for everything that you do to put what you guys put on the screen.
Thank you so much. It's been great to talk to you, and thanks for having an editor on your program. I hope we have other opportunities to be talking again.
Oh, we will. We will. See, I've already asked about other things, which you'll probably get emails for. So,
Awesome,
Claudia,
awesome.
if people wanted to talk to you, if people wanted to learn more about you or follow you, where would they go?
Um, they can go to my Instagram. I'm about to put it public, and it's not just about cinema. I post my sports um, adventures there too. So it's at Clau Castello with double L, at Clau Castello. That's my Instagram, so they can probably follow me there. It'll be nice.
Okay, well, I know I'm going to follow you, so make sure you pay attention to mine. It'll be there sometime shortly. That's going to be awesome, and it was great having you on the show. This was amazing.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you too, Rafael. Uh,
All right, guys. So pay attention. This is going to be, if you're paying attention to this interview, it's on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms at Todo Wafi. Make sure that you go to our Facebook page. And on September 15th through October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month. You will get to turn around and learn a lot about our culture. So please, please, please make sure that you attend the panels and so forth. That is Claudia. I'm Rafael, and we're out.